All right, well, how you doing? It's Mr. DJ back, resuming countdown my fantasy playlist of September the 29th, 1981. Hopefully, I'll be outsourcing Billboard's Hot 100 from October the 16th, 1981. I'm going to try to pick out one or two Lost 45s, same era, because pick out those Lost 45s. Got some standards coming up on this fantasy playlist, and I'd rather do Lost 45s, but that's the way it goes. We do have a Lost 45 though at number 32. Kim Carnes Drive the Cards, a spooky sounding record. Kim Carnes sounded like she's a little bit possessed on this record. This was different from Kim Carnes a little bit, but she had this electric side to her because she would do songs like Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer, a song that she did with Gene Cotton, and What About Me, that song that she did with Kenny Rogers in 1984. But then she'd come out with something kind of out of the mainstream, like Crazy in the Night, Barking at Airplanes. And this record right here, Draw the Cards, it's from the album Mistaken Identity. Kim Carnes started out back in the 1960s. She was a songwriter, and she was a session singer, backup singer, and she got a deal. Boy, she got a publishing deal. Big break for her with Jimmy Bowen. Jimmy Bowen, who co-wrote the song Party Doll with Buddy Knox. That was a hit back in 1957. Jimmy Bowen had a hit of his own. It was the B-side of Party Doll that he did. I believe it was called Sticking With You, but I'll have to double check on that. Jimmy Bowen was hired by Frank Sinatra at Reprise Records as a producer. And Jimmy Bowen was producing records by Dean Martin. These were mainstream performers back in the 60s. He was not your sex, drug, rock and roll performer, recorder, or producer. He was producing hit records for Dean Martin. Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra, produced by Jimmy Bowen. If you read about the guy who produced the songs by Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra back in the 60s, you're going to run into Jimmy Bowen's name. But anyways, you got that publishing deal with Jimmy Bowen. This was late in the 60s. It might have been around 1970. And Kim Carnes came out with her first album in 1971 or 72. Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer. Well, actually, it was You're a Part of Me. I believe that was the song that she did with Gene Cotton. That hit the adult charts back in 1975 or 76, and then was put out again in 1978, went top 40. And there were more love. She did More Love back in the summer of 1980, remake of the Miracles records, and then, of course, Betty Davis' Eyes. And put her on the map big time. And this song came after Betty Davis' Eyes, Draw the Cards. It's kind of an interesting pick for a single to come up behind such a huge record like Betty Davis' Eyes. Draw the Cards only got up to number 28 on Billboard's Hot 100, and I kind of rooted for this record, but I knew it wasn't commercial enough to be top 10. I knew it was going to die pretty quick. And it did. But it's on my fantasy playlist at number 32. Date of September 29th, 1981. It's Kim Carnes with Draw the Cards.